when you find someone that's pretty much hell-bent on helping people in communities, I honestly have to give them their flowers, because it seems like helping people has become uncool. So on today's episode, I sat down with Pandu, the founder of Ingenious Consulting Services. Now, one of the things that piqued my interest about him was his talks on community development and healing and mental health. Now, anyone can talk about it, but getting to sit with him on a one-on-one basis and him sharing his process to being the man that he is today, the father, the husband, I felt like it was only right to share it with you guys as well. I mean, I had a blast, and I know for a fact that you guys will too. So enjoy today's episode.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it. No?
It's good. It's good. It's all good.
All right. Okay, so we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the State of Mind podcast. And today, I have a special guest by the name of Pandu.
What's up, Patrick?
I like
How you doing? How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm awesome, bro.
Long time no see.
Long time no
How
see.
you been? You been good?
I've been good. I've been trying to be good. I mean, I think the thing I've tried to do lately is survive. That's all I've been trying to do lately. I mean, with everything that's been happening, the past 2 years have been fucking crazy, bro.
Hey, brah, I agree, brah. With all the COVID-19 pandemic, it's new to all of us. The people that have been dying earlier this year,
It was crazy, man.
It's
was
crazy.
hectic.
You know, it takes a lot, and it tested me especially and my faith in terms of not knowing what tomorrow holds. I really had to dig deep within me, and out of it all, I think I although it was tough times that we all went through, there's a lot that I also learned during this period.
Don't you think it's weird how tragedy needs to happen in order for us to like understand what is actually like near and dear to us?
I guess that's
I hate the fact that has to be the case. That someone has to die or something tragic needs to happen in order for us to understand. Like, man, I've been taking things for granted.
You know, it's we learn through tough times, I guess, and the longer we take to learn these lessons, the longer these tough times last. It's what I've seen, and we go through these times, and it molds us into becoming the people that we're destined to become. But you said something about death also, and interesting. We were saying death, and we're saying, hey, people were dying, and but is it a bad thing? What if death is like the best thing that could ever happen to us? What if it liberates our spirit? What if being in this body is like the prison? You know, the Hindus actually celebrate when someone dies. I think when they're born, I'm speaking under correction, but I heard something like when people are born, they actually like they mourn or they're a bit sad because of the tragedy that this child is born into. You know, life being hard and these tough times that we go through, but then they rejoice when people die because the soul is liberated.
But here's the thing. Depends who you ask.
That's a thing. At the end of the day,
I'm not prepared to see someone near and dear to me pass away, even though it has happened. It's just, it's reality. It's life, But I don't know. We live and we learn. What did they say? Smooth seas never made a tough sailor.
100%, bro.
No.
100%. And the Buddhists say that we suffer because, number one, we crave. Like all these desires, we have these cravings for alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, you name it, sex. And we suffer because of that, number one. And number two, because of our attachment to this physical world. We attach to our parents, we attach to our siblings, we attach to our kids. And in order for us to stop the suffering while we're still alive, we need to limit our cravings and then also detach. It's a hard thing to do, and it's a crazy concept to be like, hey, how do I detach from my wife, bruh? How do I detach from my kids? But like,
I don't think it's necessarily detaching in that sense, but it's like, for me right now, I have this mindset where it's like everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm building isn't for me. It's literally for my kids, my future kids. I don't have a kids, by the way. My nieces, my nephews, my godchild. Because I know I'm not here forever. I would love to be. But it's like, I have this thing where it's like, man, I'm not here forever. I'm just going to do what I can. And hopefully whatever I leave, people are gonna benefit from it. Whether it's my words, whether it's my money, whatever it is. So I don't know.
You're deep, and that's living in a detached way.
Yeah?
Because realizing that, hey, nothing that I have
certain.
is not mine, and I'm just here for a short period of time, and I need to let go of my money, my belongings, the people, and using my time that I'm here to make a difference. I like that. I like that. I like that.
Maybe it's because I don't have too many of those responsibilities like everybody else, but that's how I view things right now. Oh, I've always actually been like that, which is kind of weird. From a young age. Imagine, you know, when I was probably like 10 years old, I was asking myself like, yo, what happens when I die, yo? Like, what am I gonna see? Am I gonna see anything? Is it gonna be black? I don't know.
Patrick, now, since I came into the studio and we started talking, I realized more and more how similar we are. Because I can also say that I've also been philosophical since a very young age. Question, you're told. No, it's good. It's good to question because you need to. A lot of the things that I realize we grow up believing, we just believe it without questioning because we're told, don't question, just take it.
Yes.
This is how things are. Even though, sometimes it's a bit odd and it might not fit into how things actually are in reality. We just accept it. But I think it's good because that's how we search. Philosophy is one of the things that I studied in university, and it basically means the love of wisdom and the search for truth. And search for truth.
Oh,
and in philosophy, like I remember the university experience, the first lecture, what they do is they break down all your beliefs. I don't know if you watched The Matrix. Yeah. So basically,
all three of them I watched them.
where Morpheus is explaining to Neo, like, how do you know this is real? How do you know the difference between the real world and the dream world? So what they do is they even use the clip from The Matrix in that first philosophy. It was crazy. Basically, so basically they break down your beliefs, and then what they do is for the rest of your 4 years or 3 years at university, you build beliefs based on reason, bruh. So you question everything. Then we look at life after death. We look at free will. Do we have free will, or is it just this world deterministic? Is everything predetermined? All these things until you come to beliefs that you can actually explain.
Damn, man, that's crazy. That is trippy. But I think that's the whole point of actually being a human being. Just self-discovery.
Absolutely,
and all that stuff. So I don't know. I'm young. I'm like, a lot of people think that once you pass a certain age, no, it's done. But no, man, it's a never-ending experience.
Absolutely,
never.
Absolutely.
So embrace that, ladies and gentlemen, for as long as you're here. No, but damn, man, like the first few minutes are already deep, bro.
Yeah.
Hold up, man. No, but like I said, initially, why I invited you here, man, is because I've been seeing clips, audio, everything. I've been watching, man. And what you've been doing as far as being a community developer, would that be like a better term? I don't know. But I've been seeing what you've been doing as far as just empowering certain communities and just even what you said. I think yesterday I saw a clip on WhatsApp, and you're also talking about mental health. Guys, I'm gonna paraphrase this, by the way. I think you're like, this is what I got from it. You were like, guys, stop bullshitting yourself as far as if you're not okay, say you're not okay.
Yeah.
Like, acknowledge that shit.
Yeah.
And like all these things, man, it brought me here because I'm like, okay, look, let me call and reach out to Pandu. Let me see what if he actually has time to come through. And obviously made the time. But for those that are listening, I want them to understand exactly who you are and how you got into this shit. So, Pandu, tell them.
Thanks for the opportunity, Pat. Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah. It's much appreciated. Honestly, I truly embrace every opportunity I get to make a difference. Yeah. You mentioned that I'm a community developer, so this is more than I see myself as a community developer, and basically it's more than a job to me. It's connected to my purpose. We're talking about why we're here and philosophy just now, and this is all connected to why I'm put on here on this earth, and which is to serve at the end of the day. The late or the great Muhammad Ali once said that the service to others is the rent that we pay for our room here on earth. So when he said that, he emphasized the importance of us living our lives in service of making the lives of others better. How I got to this, I was pretty naughty, growing up.
You was a saint, eh?
Yeah, so I was a rebel growing up. I see you have a picture of the Boondocks here. Who's it, Huey or Riley? It's Riley that's Riley's the rebel. Growing up, and he's the younger one. So I'm the youngest son out of like 5 kids.
Okay.
Brothers, we all boys. Lost my dad at a young age. So that will hit me hard, man. And I grew up a rebel. Grew up very angry at the world. Saying, why my father, bruh? Why is it? I didn't understand. And it happened at an age where I couldn't really contextualize and understand what I was experiencing. So I remember the day he died. I was at Emma Wahano at that time. So I was in the hall. There was an event. It was like sort of like an NGO that came to visit that day. So that was my first out-of-body experience that I had. So what happened was they would preach. They would talk. It was like an event that they were talking about love and giving and being kind to people. Mm-hmm. So I felt my soul literally leave my body, or I felt myself seeing this whole event from like the top of the building. So it was just a strange feeling. Like I could see myself sitting there, and then something, I could feel like a presence around me that said, be kind to people. You must be giving. This is what life is all about. I remember thinking like, from this point on, this is how I'm going to live my life. This is now before my dad passed, before I became a rebel. So I remember thinking that, I looked at my watch and then it was 8:20, right? 8:20. Then I was like, from this moment, I'm going to live my life in service of making the lives of other people better. I'm going to be kind. I'm going to be a good person. Maybe an hour after that, my dad was just in an accident like the week before. So my uncle pulls up at the school. I'm just happy, like, Nick, hey, I came to get you. The teacher came, but she was a bit like, hey, she probably told him that time. So, and then we're in the car sitting, saying, how's it? I asked, how's my dad? Nah, he's okay. What? My uncle this is my dad's younger brother now. So he's from the north, but he was in Windhoek because my dad was in an accident. So they basically told him, like, hey, his siblings told him, hey, you need to go see Peter, bruh, because he might not be here with us any longer. Ooh. So, but the doctor said he's going to make it, but he's going to be paralyzed for the rest of his life. So it was a thing of like, we didn't know. But that day he picked me up, and I didn't know. My brothers were at Delta. We went with my uncle. It was like 10, 11 now this time. 2 hours after that event now. Mm-hmm. We pick up my brothers at Delta. My brothers crying. And I ask, hey, brah, what's wrong with you, brah? Why are you being a sissy? Man up. Then my brother say, brah, dad died, brah. I'm like, what? Say, yeah, brah, dad died, brah. I look at my uncle like, I almost felt like swearing, like, why didn't you tell me? Yeah. Since then, I was a rebel, basically. I'm just giving you some context of who Pandu is. So I found out shortly after that the time that he died was 8:20. That exact time that I had that out-of-body experience.
Really?
So I realized it must have been him telling me to live my life in service of making the lives of other people better. These are experiences, spiritual experiences. We all have them. But you can't
explain
I didn't record it and we can't explain it. But these supernatural experiences, I'm sure we all have it.
Yeah.
So I went to Delta. I was a rebel, angry kid. Used to fight a lot. If you see on my eye, there's a scar. Once hit with a bottle. Almost lost my eye.
Yeah, I see
I
that
was
now.
in a fight almost every weekend. I got my first child. I'm a father of 2. My first child just right after high school. I was 19 and she was a girl. That changed my life. It changed my perspective of how I see this world. Because I realized, hey, it's a girl, bruh. And being a man, that was a bit strange to me, bruh. I didn't grow up with sisters. And also like, hey, bruh. And she's looking at me and it was strange. Like if I do something, she'll do it also. I'm like, hey, you have to check your behavior. That time I was still a young guy. But anyways, I went to study.
Yeah, you're 19, man. Come on.
I was young. I was a kid myself, basically.
Exactly. You're still growing.
So I went to study in Cape Town, at the University of Cape Town. I came back. I remained with the mother of my child. even got married to her in court. So I
Nice.
couldn't find a job, but I decided no, man, because that time, like, soon after she got pregnant again with a second kid. Then I thought, no, man, why not? I've been with her for a long time. She's been good to me.
She knows you.
She knows me, and I want to build a future with her.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have cash. I was broke because I was a student that just basically graduated. And look at the situation in the country.
What did you
when it
graduate
comes
in,
to
by the way?
I studied international relations, political science, and philosophy.
Makes
Those were my three majors.
It makes sense.
Yeah, so we got married in court, and the first years of our marriage was not roses and flowers, bruh, because she was working right after school. She worked immediately until today. She's still working. You know, she's been earning a salary. And then, you know, it was an interesting dynamic because here I'm a man with kids that's married, that's unable to provide, bruh. So
Ego is
Ego is, you know,
being
sometimes even your friends test you sometimes and say things like, hey, bruh, you still stay at your mom's house. You know, when you have disagreements and shit. What's wrong with you? You are a grown man even staying at your mom's house. Things like that. You know, then I realized, no, man. I applied for jobs, Patrick, after jobs, after jobs, after jobs, for maybe since I finished, bruh. Open newspapers, apply every vacancy I see. Internet, I Google vacancies. Not one even called me back to say, we acknowledge we acknowledge that we received your CV, bruh. Not even just to acknowledge, bruh. So I remember 2017, I decided, okay, let me change my approach a bit. Remember, now I'm married, my kids are growing up, school fees, you know. But my wife never put me under pressure. That's why I love her so much, bruh. She never said, hey, bruh, this is too much. I know she could feel it.
Yeah.
She's human, come on, and it's a lot of pressure to be paying everything, you know. And even sometimes when I wanted a beer that time, she'd fund that too, bruh. You know? In my drinking days, you know, if I have to be real, I'm just, you know.
Now this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. Yeah,
you know. So then I was like, damn, bruh, let me change my approach. So I decided, man, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my CV. I even started applying for jobs that I was overqualified for, bruh. Driver posts that give like 3K at small companies. Even those, they didn't want me, bruh. So I even changed my CV. What I did is I changed my CV into application to volunteer. So after I changed my CV into application to volunteer, gave it to government department, banks, what, zero party. I even got a nice 2 envelopes on 2 different occasions from government saying, your application to volunteer has been unsuccessful. We are sorry. To volunteer. I wrote a nice letter saying, I just want to share my knowledge and gain experience. You don't have to pay me, but I'll come to work every day.
That's dumb.
But even private sector, the banks, none of them wanted, bruh. So I decided, no, man. 2018, I remember, I even got into almost depression. I used to drink every day, even to the point, once my daughter asked me, bruh, daddy, why you drunk every day, bruh? What's up? Then I realized, yo, bruh, you have a problem. If she's that young and she can see, bruh, then you, bruh, you have a problem. So I remember one day, I was driving home, drunk, wasted. I'm going to be real, crying, bruh, like, oh, God, what did I do, bruh? People told me, study, go to school, work hard. You'll make it, bruh. You'll get a job, you'll get paid. I did just that, bruh. I even got good grades, bruh. But then, although I was a rebel, I got good grades. I somehow studied and partied.
You're just like my brother. You guys are in the same. What's up?
So
you guys are rebels.
crying. Say, God, bruh, this is too much, bruh. What kind? What's the way forward? Something told me, I don't know, is it my mind? Is it the universe? God? But something told me, do what you love. Go to school. I had this passion that I was always, inside of me, I always saw myself speaking in front of crowds, bruh. But I knew I wasn't a rapper. So I realized, man, I know I'm not a rapper. I don't want to be a rapper, but I see myself in front of crowds, motivating people, inspiring people, bruh. So then that's how I came like to that idea. Go to schools and motivate learners, bruh. That time Casper Nyovest was doing his fill up the 2018. Yes, he was targeting, I think, 80,000. So I got an idea and I said, I'm going to reach 50,000. That was beginning of the year 2018. I think Casper was 2017, end of the year, something like that. But then I said, Then it moved me. Casper was like, yo, this guy is more than a rapper, man. What is this guy doing on what? What is this guy on what?
That's different.
So I decided, okay, I'm going to target. I have nothing else to do. Let me reach 50,000 people around the country. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it, bruh. So I calculated, man, each school has 1,000 learners. These are government schools, right? 1,000 learners, approximately. Some have a bit more, some have a bit less. But if I can reach 50 schools around the country, or just in Windhoek is how many schools already, and then I go way primary and secondary, then I can reach my target. So I just went for it. I started at Ella Duplessis. Just asked the people like, hey, can I do? Actually, Delta. I went to Delta because I went to school at Delta. Made a speech there. I got adrenaline. It felt so good. And then I decided, no, man, let me do it at other schools also. Went to Ella Duplessis, went from school to school. That time, I remember my mother and my father-in-law, they were like, hey, brah, now you are starting to waste petrol, brah. Your wife is the only one that's working. You are going to come out to school to motivate people, brah. What's up with you, bruh? You are wasting petrol. Now, they are just thinking, which I understand where they were coming from at that time. You know, sometimes these things, your dreams and your visions, it's given to you for a reason. Only you can see it. Yeah, bruh, but I kept doing it. Shortly after, I got called back by schools to prize givings. They say, hey, we liked your speech. Come speak at our prize giving. I started getting called for radio interviews, like, hey, but I started going to the newspapers and saying, hey, just to get it out that I want to reach 50,000 people. So it's just a vision that I had, and then I pushed for it.
Can I ask you this question?
Yes.
So this is just something you started because you just thought like, okay, I'm gonna travel school to school, but technically you don't necessarily have any kind of like experience or any kind of credibility, right?
Nothing. Apart from I'm just a university graduate that couldn't find job. Then I decided beginning of the year 2018, I'm not going to look for jobs anymore. Yeah, it's because, come on, bruh, after 3 years, bruh, even the people don't want me to volunteer, bruh. Even my own network, I know wealthy people, bruh. I'm not going to mention names.
Yeah.
I know super wealthy people, bruh. I know they see me today and they wonder, how is this guy doing it? And probably a bit of regret that they didn't help me out earlier. I know super wealthy people, bruh. I knocked on their doors. People with businesses, people that were in powerful positions. All of them, they shut me out, bruh. Even to volunteer, bruh. So basically, okay.
It's crazy.
I got called later. Radio Energy made me personality of the week. Then when Radio Energy put me there, then Radio Wave would call like, hey, we see what you are doing. Also come here. Then the other radio station, hey, what? Then the newspaper journalists, hey, young guy, we see what you are doing. They put me in the papers. This was like maybe 4 months into it, right? Yeah. So I got a call one day from the director of NID saying, hey, brah, you know, Namibia is small. Saying, I read an article in the newspaper. I love what you do. I see you're motivating the kids. NID just opened recently, and we have this program where we're educating kids about their rights and leadership and what. And since you were doing it for free, we are willing to pay you to do it for us because we need consultants for this project. So then I got my first project.
And then that was your first paycheck.
That was my first. After how many years, I was like, whoa, maybe this can work out. Oh, wow. It was like, from there, I just gave my all. Yeah, long story short, that's how. Then I realized, later it wasn't just NID. I started getting called by. So I ended up at NID without giving my CV, but because of the community development work that I was doing. So they saw what I was doing with the schools, and then they saw, okay, let's partner with you on projects.
Okay,
so that's how I go. Yeah.
But for those that don't know what NID is, could you just...
it's the Namibia Institute for Democracy. So they're basically a think tank, right?
Okay.
So they all about strengthening democratic institutions. Like they do trainings for like members of parliament, for regional councillors, churches, schools, the media, and then also they empower the public. That's their mandate. Teach people about the constitution, their rights, leadership, financial literacy. That's NID. So they're a think tank and they work with the young people from the community, right? So if you have ideas to uplift your community, you can write a proposal, take it to NID, and then maybe they can help get the funding to implement that project. So because I was already, so this was a project that they had already gotten funding for. So then they needed someone to be the trainer, to go into the schools and to
Talk to the
teach,
people,
talk to the kids and empower the learners and teach them about their rights and give them some leadership skills. So yeah, that's how I got into it. So I gave my heart and my soul because it's connected to my passion. I said in the beginning, it's more than a job to me, right?
Yeah.
So it ended up at a point where other institutions started seeing. So I started consulting for churches. I started consulting for international organizations. So, and then I realized, man, this is a business, man. Huh?
Everything is a business.
It's a business, man.
Yeah.
And then I registered a business. So at first I was consulting as an individual, in an individual capacity. But now I'm doing it as a consultancy business. So that's the background. That's who I am, my brother. And that's today I can feed my family. I am happy every day. I wake up dancing, just this genuine joy in my soul, bro.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing better than getting paid for doing what you love, my brother.
Love what you do what you love.
Yeah.
Now, because one of the things that you mentioned, which is like, which I feel is it's not necessarily a problem, but it's something that needs to be addressed as far as what a man's role is, especially in a fucking marriage. And you got married young, probably. How old were you when you got married?
I was 24.
Shit.
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
But the point is, that's
Yeah. Do you know it? I had to learn to become a man, bro.
Yeah.
Through my daughters, through being a husband to my wife, bro. Do you know it wasn't easy at first, bro. You know, it was so much pressure and not being able to provide. That's why I was always drinking.
Yeah.
And
that's my question
do
again.
you know, but now I'm almost 3 years without alcohol. You know, it just reached a point where I realized, bruh, if you're gonna provide, be able to provide the life for your kids and your wife that you want to. Ne? And these things, maybe for someone that doesn't have these responsibilities, but yeah, it pushed me to So I had to learn to become a father, bruh, and a husband, and it's not easy, bruh.
And because that's what that brings me to the question, because I'm like, man, what was going through your head? Because obviously, it's all these pressures coming from all corners, man. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's her family, maybe it's your friends. Like, but yo, man, why you being a bitch nigga? She's taking care of you. And you're like,
she's providing for
and you're
even like yo, that car you're driving is even your wife's. When are you getting comments like that? I'll get things like that, like you.
What they don't understand is, because obviously, I don't know if it's a Namibian thing or whatever, but and let me say it's a human being type of thing, where it's like, okay, you don't understand what's happening behind closed doors, okay. And yes, you are entitled to your opinion and all these things, but when it comes down to a point where you make it a fact and you don't even know what the fucking story is behind it, it gets upsetting and it starts fucking with people's heads. Now I can imagine you now. You're married, 24, 2 kids. You got school fees to pay. You got rent. You got all these mortgages. I don't know what it is. Man, that shit must have been like really like.
It's heavy. It's
the worst time of your life,
and there are people, and that's why I do what I do also, because I know that there are people out there going through hell, bruh. It's hell. It's hell. There's no other way to explain it, bruh. They say hell is a place where you go where you die after. I don't believe that, bruh. There's hell here on earth, bruh. Already. And there are people living through hell. And really, as part of my role, my purpose is to try to take them out of that hell and make them experience heaven on earth, bruh. And being a young person that went through that, and I've been able to overcome it, I can show other young people, at least give them faith and show them a way.
Okay.
That there is a way to do it.
No, there is, man. There always is a way. I think it's when you're able to change someone's mindset, which is obviously not the easiest thing to do. But I feel like if you can actually do that, the possibilities, man, are endless. And look, I'm talking about this like from a personal perspective, and also just what I've observed, man. Which is why they always take out the great leaders, the people that actually, you know what I mean?
Park,
the Malcolm X's. Yeah. Because when I started to realize recently it's like, man, these guys aren't necessarily talking about, nah, you need to do this, you need to get money, what. They're more like, look, your mind is a powerful thing. What you say to yourself, it took me a while to also understand this. What you say, the things that you say to yourself, man. And it's not easy because obviously people are coming from like really fucked up environments, bro. That's why I can't be like, no, think positive. That's bullshit, bro. You can't tell someone that.
Yeah, but everything around them is negative.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, uncle's a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Sisters being raped. Like,
word.
like, how do you process these
Word,
things? Man?
word,
So
word,
it's like,
word.
when people can actually come with a different approach and be like, look, what you're going through, I get it. I totally understand it. I've been there. But I'm not going to tell you to do things differently, rather. But I'm going to show you, rather. Actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely, bro.
You know?
Absolutely.
And it's like, man, and that's what I want to do and want to see other people doing as well. Stop telling people what to do. Show them. Be living proof. And like you said, for you, man, hey, man, I've spoken to you like for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm catching a vibe, which is why I feel comfortable talking about these things and just saying these things also, because I'm like, okay, this guy. And this is just what I think you're just touching the tip of the iceberg. Man.
Yo, I've been through things, bruh.
Yeah.
You know, there's we can as you know, this show is something that's ongoing. Of course, you can invite me back and we can go zone in on certain topics a bit deeper. But yeah, at the end of the day, you know, this is genuine from the heart, bruh. Because what I learned is that, do you know what changed for me? There's something you were talking about, mindset and changing people's mindset, transforming the mindset of the Namibian child, brother. That's what I tried to do, because I realized what changed within my mind is that at first I was chasing money. Now, if you chase money will run away, brother, because you are chasing it, so it will run away. Okay. But follow your heart. You know, J. Cole said, a wise man told me, don't chase that cash. Follow your heart. You'll make it fast. Another thing is like, if you focus on serving people, money will chase you. That's what changed for me, my brother. Nipsey said it as well.
Yeah.
Deep.
Paraphrase that shit as well. Yeah.
Deep. So that's what changed. So when I was looking for a job, I was chasing money, bro. High paying job, so I can buy a nice car,
Take
big
care
house.
of my family, yes.
But the moment I started serving people, it didn't even take me 6 months. Then I was busy, bro. Until today, that's how I feed myself. I don't get a salary to sow, bro. What you put out, it comes back to you, bro. So the easiest way to succeed. Do you know, there's a saying, my philosophy lecturer told me something that I'll never take all them is, and then the money will end up in the same hands. Meaning the people that were rich before the money will end up being rich, get a good club, they get this high salary, and then a few years after that, you know. Now what has to, it's because there's the mindset, bruh. They come from a poor mind change within us, bruh.
Yeah. What's that?
Do you know,
what's that phrase?
Of our parents, of course, and I don't blame them. We come from apartheid. What we get told is go to school, bruh. We need to come up with ways. And you know, I don't know if you heard of the Lost Gospel of Thomas. It's one. It says, if you believe, you will receive. The Lost Gospel of Thomas explains what has it been.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Technical glitches, but yeah, the Lost Gospel of Thomas. You read that somewhere. What exactly does that say?
Yes. I love reading, and the Lost Gospel of Thomas is one of these mysterious books that I stumbled across. So it's basically one of these books that weren't included in the modern day Bible, but it's sayings apparently that Jesus, sayings from Jesus. For some reason, these scriptures weren't included in the modern Bible. But I believe I know why, because it's quite powerful scriptures, and if people knew this information, then, you know, this world is all about control. You know, it's hard to control a mind that is free. So the Lost Gospel of Thomas, what it does is, for instance, the modern Bible, it explains that if you believe, you will receive anything. Just believe and ask in my name, and I'll give it to you, is what God says in one of I don't know which scripture it is exactly, excuse me. But it's there somewhere. But the Lost Gospel of Thomas explains what it means to believe. What does it mean to believe? How must I believe?
Yeah, you said believe.
Yes, it means being in the mind state of belief.
knowing
It's-
knowing that you already received it. You having that mindset that
It's
you already
acting
received
from
it.
the paradigm that you have already received what you
Okay,
want.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's believing. So once you act like you operate from the paradigm of what you already want to become. You act like you are it already. That's the quickest way to manifest. So our thoughts become things at the end of the day. And the longer we hang on to these vibrations, if we can hang on to these vibrations of wealth, that's one of the things I used to tell myself. I'm powerful, I'm influential, I'm wealthy, even though I wasn't. Then I used to tell myself during my meditation, every night, I put it in my mind and say it over and over. The moment I believed it is the moment it manifested for me. So the moment you believe it, people say I'll believe it when I see it, but it's actually the other way around. If you believe it, then you will see it.
Then you'll see it.
Then you will see it.
It's funny because another thing that I don't know where I read this, but the question was, why is it so easy for us to reinforce the negative shit as opposed to the positive? Because obviously, we're talking about manifestation right now. If I think good things on a daily basis, obviously, everything else that I do is gonna kind of correlate to that. But obviously, we spoke about being raised in a fucked up environment or just situations. Obviously, that right there makes it easy to reinforce the negative things. But just in general, even people who aren't necessarily in those kinds of situations,
it's like you said, it's the conditioning, it's the world, it's what they feed. Open a newspaper.
Yeah,
is negative. I stopped reading newspapers like years ago. I don't read. How I stay informed is word of mouth. Funny enough,
Really?
I work within this political space, but I don't read newspapers. Nope. I word of mouth. Hey, did you hear, Brian? I see. Of course, I won't just believe any Jimmy or what. Of course, this is a credible source.
You're gonna do your due diligence.
Yes, and there are publications and there's credible information. But it's the newspapers, they feed us with negativity. It's the television, there's negativity. It's in the music, negativity. Even the pastor, what he's preaching is filled with negativity. Bruh, the teacher, it's cool. Your teacher will tell you, bruh, nigga, you ain't shit, bruh. You ain't. My teacher, I had a teacher at Delta, bruh, that told me, bruh, you are going to fail your math and grade 12.
Was the woman?
It was a lady, bruh.
I think I may know you're talking about.
You may know it was my mathematics teacher, Mrs. Gosso. That's what she's. Yes, she told me straight up, bruh.
It was the
because
other
I
one.
was naughty, man. I also understand where she was coming from. I was a rebel trying to disrupt the class.
But no.
But it's
fuck
fed.
that.
But it's
Fuck
you
that.
see. But it's fed to us.
Yeah.
But I passed. I made sure I'm gonna work and show this lady. Now when she sees me, she can't look me in the face, bruh. Till today, I'm sure she knows what I'm doing.
Dude.
But the thing is, it's the world. Yes, it's negativity, and why it's done like it's. I think it's intentional that it's set up because we there's so much fear instilled into us on a daily basis. Even in church, you are going to hell. If you don't follow us, you'll go to hell. Ooh, I'm scared. What does fear do? It paralyzes you. There was a guy called Machiavelli, a political scientist, that said it's better for a ruler to be feared than to be loved, bruh. Because fear, it paralyzes you. You can't think, you can't act, bruh. And that's how we are being controlled in this world, bruh. They instill fear through the media, through the religion, through what? And then we end up just being sheep, bruh, following what everyone is saying. We don't think critically. We don't question. Don't question, bruh. You'll go to hell. Ooh, I'm too scared to question, bruh. That's it's the way the world is set up. And
what you just said just reminds me of, I was watching this podcast, and so this lady, the Joe Rogan Experience, by the way.
Yeah.
And this lady, I forgot her name. Basically, she defected from North Korea, and basically she's just recalling just her experience in North Korea and stuff. And she said something, man. She was like, "What's so sad, or what's so like really fucked up, is that people don't even understand they're being oppressed." Like that, they're in this mindset where it's like they don't even understand what's going on.
Powerful.
You know what I mean? And that shit is like crazy.
The Matrix. When Morpheus says they're in a prison that they cannot taste, touch, feel, or see.
think
A
so.
prison
Yeah.
for the mind, bruh. And that is deep. You don't even know.
It's fucked up.
That is crazy.
You're being oppressed, but you don't even, understand
know.
it or even know what's going to happen.
That is the craziest part, bruh.
Yeah.
That is the craziest
and that's
part.
that's so fucking scary for me, man.
Yo. That is the craziest
That's
part.
crazy. So imagine these people who actually question like authority, like what the fuck is going on? Like why am I only entitled to 1 meal a day? What's wrong with 3 meals a day?
Yeah.
And you get fucking
Yeah.
killed for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why
So
must
it's
I only read this Bible?
Yeah.
Why can I not read that other Bible?
you get
All of
assassinated.
them
Yeah.
also.
And
Yeah.
they demonstrate that shit in public
Yeah?
to the whole community. Like, look,
Yeah.
question, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Have you read this one? Is also one of those books.
Okay.
Napoleon. I'm going to say it now. I've never said it in public, and I
Okay.
won't talk about it ever again.
Okay.
It's the first and the
Thank
last
you.
time, because I think the energy is right,
Yeah.
and this is the platform.
Yeah,
Conversations
go.
with the Devil. Have you heard of that book? Probably
No.
not.
Not
It's
at
one
all.
of those lost books. Napoleon Hill, Conversations with the Devil. That book explains how this negative energy works that we're talking about. He explains that the devil is basically negative energy, pure negative energy. Then God is pure positive energy. God, G-O-D, good. Take away one O. Devil. Take away the D, evil.
Okay.
So it's pure positive energy and pure negative energy. And then it shows how the system, through religion, the churches, the pastors, the schools, the teachers, parents, how they pass down this indoctrination through their children, generation, without even knowing, bruh. Feeding the kids with this harm, this bullshit information, this propaganda, bruh. And then that's how it maintains. And then we grow up in fear. We grow up not knowing our true power, our abilities. We don't believe in ourselves. And that's the control. Because at the end of the day, we have the power, bruh. No one can, of course there's outside forces, but at the end of the day, it's your mind, bruh. And once you take control of your mind, you can direct it to whatever end you want to accomplish, bruh. And no one can stop you, bruh. No one, nothing. If you have complete control of your mind and you're just working with pure positive energy.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you see, I feel like it's so, even that word, or rather that phrase, think positive, it's so redundant because it's used so much. But I understand when people say it. But for me, like I said, actions speak louder than words. So I want to show you what this can do. Because I just, sometimes, all these books I've read, man.
Deep.
Yeah, think positive.
There's
yeah.
one, The Secret.
The
Yeah.
Secret. And I understand what you're trying to say, but I don't. Let's dumb it down for the average person.
Yes.
It's not just about thinking. It's a process.
Hey,
It's a fucking process.
But because you have to change. Thinking positive is the tip of the iceberg. It's just the tip of the iceberg. The root, you need to transform your character, bruh. You need to become an ethical person, bruh. That's what it's about at the end of the day. So our nature, we need to change our nature, bruh. Because our thoughts come from our nature, who we are. Like I told you, I was younger, I was a rebel, bruh. I used to misbehave.
Yeah.
But when I started doing things right, being there for my family, I don't party. I'm not out there. If I go out, I'm with my wife. I don't give I'm not even interested in women. When I do the right thing. So that's when my character changed. That's when things really changed for me as well.
Because for you, one thing I actually get now is that you establish this routine for yourself, man. Because look, at the end of the day, party all you want, guys. You can be I think you can be a good person.
Absolutely.
You're a good person, but you party. It's all good.
Absolutely.
But with you, I think you establish this routine where it's like, look, I'm cool hanging out with my kids. I'm cool hanging out with my wife. We can go movie nights, and that's literally me. It's equivalent to you. It's equivalent to someone else buying bottles in the club.
Yeah, word.
You get the same kind of excitement.
Word.
We're all different.
Word. Do you know? At the end of the day, I'm not talking bad about it. And you're right. What you're saying.
Yeah.
You're absolutely. And I'm glad you said that Because the thing about me is I could not control. I was dealing with things at the time I was drinking, and I could not control it.
Yeah.
I was drunk every day, bruh. So, some things, some people, I have a brother, that guy can have a bottle there, he drinks it for a whole 2 months, takes a shot today, leaves it, or he has a beer, alcohol. Me, everything would finish now.
That day.
So you need to know thyself, So I said, this is not for me, bruh. There are some people super successful, living great lives, and then they party as well. Me as well. Sometimes I feel, hey, let me go with my wife. It's just I don't drink. I'll have a juice. She has her wine. I don't say, hey, don't drink because I'm not drinking. No. She can control. She can have 1, 2 and say no. For a whole month, 2 months, I'm not having anything.
Yeah.
You see, so yeah. So it's just important part is knowing thyself.
Yeah. But for me, the point I was trying to make was, as a person, for me, I wouldn't want to be perfect even if I had the choice.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's impossible.
I mean, because just think about it. Think about it like this: if I was perfect, what is there to live for?
Yeah, my nigga.
The reason why we fuck up is because we had time to correct it.
Word.
We had time like, oh yeah, okay, I fucked up. Like,
word.
What did I do wrong?
Word. And it's important that you say that. And the thing is, we will never be perfect. It's self-improvement. I'll keep trying to improve myself. Realizing that I'll never be perfect also, bruh. Yeah. There's some days I'm also angry, bruh. There are some days, we can all be toxic as well. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. And we can't be perfect, but yeah.
But one of the things I wanted to also get at was you spoke about your life as far as the things that you've dealt with. And you said you got married at a young age, 24, right?
Yeah,
24. You're 2 kids already, but the one thing that's really like, so I don't know how to phrase this, but one thing I really want to know is like, how did you know your wife was the one for you? And I know it sounds weird and cliche, like, oh, she's the one, but it wasn't easy, obviously. Determining that was not easy, or it wasn't even like that predictable. Like I knew it was, but how the fuck did you know? Like, man, she's here. She's with me for the long run. She's here with me for the fucking long run.
In the beginning, coming into the relationship, it took time to realize that, because I came from a place where I was hurt from past relationships, bro. And I was like, man,
baggage.
We all come with this.
Yeah, we all come with it. Like, nah, bro.
But I think over time, I realized she's a good person in terms of her integrity.
Okay.
Even if there were times when I was not a good person myself, I was still learning in my younger days. And I'll try to convince her, hey, let's do this. She'd be like, no. If it's not the right thing to do, she would not do it. Even though she loved me, even though it doesn't matter how she felt about me. But she always had strong principles. And she was firm on doing the right thing. So over time, I realized, man. And she's good to me. And she wasn't the partying type, always going out. And she didn't have many friends. It mostly just her mom. So over time, I realized, no, man. This person is just good to me. Actually, it hurt me that I was being an asshole at one point. Like, bruh, why you always out partying, living at home with the kids and what? So it's also like a gut feeling, man. When you found the one you know. And to me, it was more about her morality. Just the fact that not even I could make her stray from her principles. Knowing, that made me know that, hey, even if I'm not there, she'll do the right thing. Because that's who she is. That's her nature. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And she stuck by me like I was broke for many years. She provided. Never did she put pressure on me, bruh. Other women would say comments like, hey, bruh, you are just living off your wife or men, But, and I at times, sometimes I would see her low, but she would never say, hey, bruh,
help
get
me.
a job or help me. I'd have these visions and dreams, say, hey, one day, bruh. She'd be like, yeah, we're going to make it. Don't worry. Just keep.
And that's a positive reinforcement.
Yeah. So that's how I knew, no, man, this one is the one. And now that we made it, yeah.
How long you been married now?
5 years. 5 years.
Damn.
And together, I think 13 years. Since what is
okay,
it?
Been together for 13, married for 5.
Married for 5, yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Did you
and
Oh yeah, I want to ask you this just from because you're you're the first married man on the show.
yeah.
Honored.
Really? On the show?
I think yeah. You're the first married. Yeah. Nobody else. Everyone just has their situations. But do you feel like when a title is put on something, it also adds to pressure? Because I can imagine that's my husband. Because I can imagine now when you were struggling now, and she's like, yeah, that's my husband.
Yeah,
like damn, that motherfucker going through a lot. You're like,
hey.
Like he's going through something. I don't know.
He'll get here, but he's my husband.
So like, I always, because the thing is, why I ask this question is because I know how it feels when I was in a relationship. And this is not even marriage, by the way, guys. This is just a girlfriend and boyfriend situation. And I'm like, man, she calls me and I'm the boyfriend. And I'm just like, fuck. Like there's certain obligation all of a sudden you have to do, and you're like, man, this is too much, yo.
Do you know it was a lot of pressure, too much as a young man, too much. I think that's why I drowned in the liquor, bruh.
Just to avoid that shit.
All this shit so I can forget, bruh. Like in the beginning it was too much, bruh. But now I embrace it, bruh. I grew. I experienced a lot of growth through it. Even now, people they don't believe my age. When I tell them I'm born in 92, they're like, no ways, but I thought you were 40, 50. But and I even have a bald head, so that doesn't even help the cause. But I realized it helped. It helped my cause, bruh. It brought stability. Everything I do, I was a rebel. But now everything I do, I think twice. Like, hey, how will it affect my kids? How will it affect my wife? When I was just thinking about myself in the past. So because of that, it helped me in my cause as well to become successful, bruh. Because now I'm not doing it for me. I had no choice, bruh. I have kids, and I can't just do what I want to, bruh, because it will affect their lives, bruh. I've seen people in the hood, bruh. I have cousins, bruh, that because of the things they were doing, the kids are suffering today, bruh. But then I decided, no, man, I want better for my kids. And the interesting thing is, like, a lot of people see relationships as, like, sort of, I have a brother is like, I need to focus on my work, bruh. I need to focus on my work. If I get into a relationship now, then I won't be able to put. But it actually adds value. It can add value. It's different for everyone. It depends who you ask. Like Patrick likes to say. Like, Patrick, it depends who you ask. But I realized... Napoleon Hill, I like making reference to Napoleon Hill.
Yeah, I'm gonna find that book.
Go find that book. It will change your perspective.
Okay.
A lot of your habits, you'll immediately stop them like this. You say, what? This is how I'm being controlled. Even through liquor and this alcohol and what? Cigarettes and what. But go watch that. Conversations with the Devil. So he asks, basically, the devil how he manipulates and controls the world. How does he do it? How does the system work? This negativity that's being fed to us. So then basically, if you ask something from the universe, you have to get an answer or you have to get it back. So then then apparently now the devil responds to that and saying, hey, I hate to tell you this, but this is how I do it. Through the what. Go look at that. But anyways, Napoleon in an unrelated source, it's a bit... Yeah, I know it's a bit deep stuff. It's crazy stuff, but he calls it that. It's more liberating than anything. Believe me.
Okay.
It sounds like, woo. When I heard about it first, it took me maybe 6 months to watch it. I heard about it from one person. I put it on in the beginning. Wait, is it a book
or
it's an audio book. I listened to the... I don't think that book, they'll ever put it on the shelves.
Nah, I doubt that too.
I don't think they'll ever put it on the shelves.
The title's already controversial on its own.
Yeah, it's already... It's already, and you didn't hear it from me, ladies and gentlemen.
You heard it now.
Yeah, but anyways, Napoleon speaks about the Mastermind Principle.
Okay.
If two minds work on a common goal, then a third invisible force comes into play. But some people call it the universe. Some people call it Allah. That's what I experienced in my life. My wife and I had a vision. We had nothing. We started with nothing. But we kept that vision, and we kept the same vision, and we worked towards it, She was working here, I was doing my community development. But somehow we saw how it manifested, and it's amazing, And that's what relationship or mine has done for me. And I'm sure a lot of other people as well. The mastermind principle, it's like two minds working on one idea, constantly focusing. It's like one person's mind is so super powerful, bruh. Imagine two now. It's like a third invisible force comes into play, bruh. But that's if you guys are working in harmony, bruh. A lot of relationships, it's fights and it's beating each other and what. Of course, my wife and I, we are not perfect. Yeah. We argue, but majority of the time, we are working towards that common goal.
It's like I say, man, as long as the good times outweigh the bad times, it's all good.
Yeah.
But I don't know, for me, as far as relationships are concerned, I had my fair share. However, right now I'm not actively looking for one. However, I'm not opposed to getting into one. But I've always had this feeling where, because a lot of the times we look for things that we don't necessarily know that we want. So for me, I told myself, man, why don't I become the person that I know I want to be, or that I know that my future wife wants me to be? And to some level, I think it will attract her. The universe will just bring her to me to some level. So it's like, what I'm trying to kind of get at is like, how do you expect to love someone when you don't even know how to love yourself?
But you are deep.
You know what I mean?
You are deep. and because of that, a lot of people, because they don't love themselves yet, they rush into relationships. Yeah. And it's not all gloomy. Doesn't mean you are in a relationship or you are married that it's good, bruh, always.
It's wonderful, peaches and cream.
Some people, I've seen people, the good people, on the way to success, then the woman they end up getting breaks them down completely, bruh. Now they are someone completely different, and that's what can happen. So, and not being in a relationship, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It can be a good thing, because honestly, it does give you time now to focus on yourself, to focus on your growth, to invest in yourself, and then you once you're ready to enter that space, then
so I'm saying I feel like it will come my way,
and like you said, it will be attracted to me. I won't chase it because then
I mean, I've chased it. I found don't get me wrong, I found some wonderful women. It's just, I know I was the common denominator. I was fucking up half of the time. I'm willing to admit it. Yeah,
I love your honesty.
I was fucking up half of the time. Some of these women really loved me, but I was just like, man, fuck it.
Like say as soon as they call you, hey, that's my boyfriend. Like what? Me? What are you talking about?
What did I do? But now it's a lot of contributing factors. Now I just started to understand, like, look, it will present itself. Because I've even right now I'm talking to someone. I'm like, yeah, she's actually pretty cool, and I wasn't necessarily even looking for it. But I'm like, okay, what have I done lately? I'm like, okay, clearly I've kind of started to do things that make me happy. I'm kind of getting into a rhythm. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, if this person's coming, let me not judge it. I don't know she's the one or whatever you want to call it, but I'm gonna go with the flow and see what happens.
No, but it's good, bruh. It's good. You never know what comes out of it, bruh. You never know what comes out of it.
Yeah, but that's why this life thing, man. It's exciting.
Yeah.
But it's also fucking depressing. It can get you.
Bruh. Even me right now, a lot of times, people, that's what they see, the glimpse and the cameras and the what, like, yo.
They see the highlights.
They see the highlights, like, yo, bruh, people literally think I live a perfect life, but it's not that way. There are times that I'm even this year, bruh, I go through challenges, during COVID, when parents were in hospital and so there's challenges that I also go through. There's good and the bad, bruh. But it's just hanging on to the good. Yeah. Taking the lemons and making lemonade. That's what it's about.
I would love to see someone who shows, and this is off topic by the way, but kind of related. I would love to see someone who would go on social media, like a really has a broad following, and would actually post the other side of being a parent, as far as raising a baby. Because look, dude, I've seen my sister, by the way, and there are times where I come in the home like 5 a.m, and she's sitting on the edge of the bed, the baby's crying and she's just like sitting there, and I'm like, holy
Those,
shit! And I would take my nephew. I'm like,
yeah, let me just help. Then you're like, hey, let me help.
Walk
out.
around the house till he sleeps.
I know what
So
you
like,
and that's parents go through. Most parents go through that, bruh.
I would love someone to document that.
Yeah.
The diarrhea, the shit on the back there, you know,
bruh.
the crying in public. Like,
Yeah.
I want someone to actually show that side.
Yes, because that's what's real. We're only showing the glossy and
the cute baby laughing.
Yo.
But I'm like,
yeah,
man, that's not the truth.
What about when the baby's there, like
sick, crying, having a like, yeah, but
and that's what the thing. That's what social media. That's where it confuses, and that's where it that's the disconnect from reality that we see with social media. At the end of the day, just this glimpse, and
that's a good highlight. The great highlights.
The great highlights. But I think you're taking a step towards that. Us talking about these things is actually a step into the right direction. It's knowing that life is real, and people go through challenges and struggles, bruh, and this is what it's about.
True, man.
Yeah.
And something I actually I wanna make this actually a reoccurring theme here, especially with a male guest. I want to talk about mental health. That's something I don't necessarily fail to understand it. I've had people that have come on the show, man, and they've shared some things with me on and off air that just make me wonder, man. Like, you are a strong person. Like, you should never let anyone else tell you otherwise. 'Cause men and women. Sorry, by the way, but one of the things here, because it seems like a lot of men are committing suicide.
Do you know most people that commit suicide are men here in Namibia?
Yeah,
most is men.
And we're not trying to even include the dudes that obviously have that passion killing situations. That I'm trying to figure out, but obviously there's also some mental issues going there as well. But with the cannibal situation, I never met him in my life before. I know people that have worked with him and stuff, and it just but based on those conversations I've had with those people, some of them actually, they may have actually known this guy was going through something, but never said or did anything about it. But at the end of the day, what do you say to someone who's going through this shit also? What could you possibly say to this person? You know? So, I mean, you had your background, you had your situations, but as part of your whole journey right now is mental health a thing that you're also trying to highlight on?
Yes,
especially for young boys,
more so now after the death of Cannibal, and especially considering the fact that there's a lot of unemployment, a lot of retrenchment, youth unemployment especially is almost at 50%. People are 60, going through hell. People are not okay, but they don't want to say. When we meet up, we're chilling, having drinks, we are laughing, but when we go home, a lot of us are not okay, bruh. And it's evident if you look at the suicide rates amongst the men. Then you ask the very important question that what can you even say to someone that's going through? Where do you even start? Yeah. And I think as part of my journey, I realized that speaking about the challenges that I went through helps people also. Number one, realize that I'm not alone. Secondly, people are more encouraged to open up. And also to talk about what they're dealing with.
Just give them that space.
That's just I'm not I thought I was alone, bruh. Even your shit was way worse, bruh. Damn.
I'm okay.
I'm actually okay, man.
Yeah, you know that realization.
I mean. That realization. And also because I'm able to, I overcame. It shows a light to say that, look, you can go through hell, bruh, and still make it to heaven. Don't give up. So that's part of what I try to do. By speaking through my life, my experiences, so that people can realize. And even now, bruh, there are times where I'm not okay.
Yeah,
there are times that I'm not okay, and I'm not afraid to say it. So yes, but I live a good life. Most of the times, I'm very happy.
Yeah,
and because I love what I do. But yeah, we need to be real, and speak about these things.
Now, I think the starting point is actually creating a space where people can actually just be like, yo, I'm not okay.
Absolutely.
Especially as a man. Because the stigma with us, man, it's obviously we are providers, you know, we are protectors, but it's like, yo, you know, providers and protectors also get into some shit.
Bruh, all
And
of us, we go
focus.
through things, bruh.
And we can't focus.
Life is not easy, bruh.
Not at
We
all.
go through things, bruh. Now, you feel inside you are not okay, but you are not allowed to say it. Somehow you must just ignore it. It must go away. How will it go away, bruh? If you are not addressing it, bruh.
Dude,
That's, we don't realize, bruh.
let
And
me
then
tell
we
you-
act out, bruh. Toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity.
the bad kind.
Do you know, I read a quote the other day, Jay-Z saying that there was a time that Beyonce almost divorced him.
Yeah.
And then because of how he was, this toxic masculinity. And then he realized that it was because of this trauma that he experienced as a child. Growing up in the hood and this gangsterism and drug dealing and things
not
he
talking
saw.
about, not saying,
Not talking about
not
it, not saying
processing,
anything. Even it affected even his relationship with Beyonce, bruh.
Yeah.
Then he had to deal with it, bruh. And through that, work through those things, and then he became a better father, bruh.
You see?
Now they are good. So even it's good. And if Jay-Z says it like, someone else that's a Jay-Z fan maybe also says,
Hopefully he picks
okay,
up.
picks up like, okay, man. It's okay not to be okay. Even Jay-Z all along. Come on, you're Jay-Z, bruh. You're Jay-Z, bruh. Come on. Yeah.
You know, this happened to me, I think 2 weeks ago, where like so basically, I don't know what I was going. I was just going through my feelings, man. And I went out that night. I had a drink, one or two. Went to go buy food, all the beans, and I saw my niece, my nieces, and for some reason, I don't know, man. I was just overwhelmed. I just hugged her, bro, and I didn't let go. And there's a status I put up recently where I was like, man, I never understood the power of a hug, like when it's like really needed. And even she was like, "Yo, uncle, are you okay?" I'm like, "No."
They say no,
I'm like,
bruh.
not at all.
And it's deep that it's good that you said it, bruh.
Yeah,
Then
it
she
was
also
so-
did it like,
It
yeah.
was so overwhelming. I don't know. I just felt I didn't cry or anything, but it's just that I was like in someone's arms that like cared for me, like legitimately cared for me, and I'm just there, and everyone's like, "Is that your girlfriend?" I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, bro." But you know, it's just these things, and I started to understand, like, man, it's important to process. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I still have my days where I don't know how to necessarily process some of these things, but when I figure it out, I always go to the people that are probably wronged, and I tell them, like, okay, look, especially with my mom, I always tell her, like, yo, I may have acted like an asshole, but it's only because I've not been sleeping properly. I'm processing a lot, and I'm not sharing enough. This is why I'm coming to you, and I'm like, if I act like an asshole, I'm sorry.
That's good. Realizing it, it's a first step, bruh. It's
Huh?
good. It's a first step, bruh. A lot of people don't even know they have a problem, bruh. How do you, like, like we were talking earlier, you don't even know you are being controlled, or you know. So recognizing, you even taking steps to address it, bruh. It's good.
I mean, like I said, man, it's a process. I don't know. I'm hoping I'll get. Okay,
Do you know,
I'm
bruh,
gonna
it's
get
not-
better to it.
bruh,
I'm gonna get better. That's for sure.
Bruh, it's not easy. Let's be real, bruh. Now, maybe for a young man.
But the
being
thing is,
bruh.
the reason why I'm hesitant to say it's because, you know, it's, you know, the power of words. People don't understand this shit because what you say to yourself, what you say to other people, it affects them. Like, imagine someone's like, "Yo, man, my chick left me," and then you'd be like, "Yeah, kill yourself," and you walk away. And then imagine this person like really looks up to you, and you're like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do
I
it."
might as well.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, something close friend tells him, like, watch what you say to yourself, man. Like, I get it, you go through these things, but it's not forever. Pain is temporary.
That's the important part.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna make it one day, bruh. It doesn't
I don't
matter
know
how
how.
long or what I have to go through, but
Yeah.
I'll get there, bruh. That's what keeps me sane, bruh. That's what keeps me sane.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but it's not easy for a young man. Or young woman, a young person in Namibia
Young
right
person.
now, bruh.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, bruh. With thinking about our futures now.
Mm.
Is the jobs and people being retrenched, and even as an entrepreneur, access to grant to funding and that type of thing. So many challenges, bruh. Relationship challenges that young people go through.
Yeah, man. And
It's but I love what you are doing, Patrick, here.
thank you so much.
Because then it helps show people that there is really light at the end of the tunnel, bruh. It's true that I'm not alone. It's okay. We'll make it through, bro. We gonna make it. We gonna make it.
No, but that's the goal. That's the plan, man.
Yeah.
But
we
I'm
need
optimistic.
It's good that you're also speaking about mental health. The people around us, bro, siblings, parents, we must be there for each other, bro.
Because
We
imagine
think,
it's so easy to dismiss someone just by calling them crazy.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it, and it's only now where I'm like starting to piece back stories from back in the day where I'm like, yo, what's wrong with the dude, man? It's like, nah, that guy's crazy. Yeah. But in all honesty, this person was actually going through some shit that no one bothered or cared to even ask. You know what I mean? So man, so at the end of the day, I'm hoping someone is listening. And look, if you guys feel the need to call, text, email me, let me know. I'll be willing. I'm not a fucking expert. I'm not a therapist or anything, but I am able to understand. I may not be able to relate to your shit, but I will try my best to understand, and we can just have a fucking decent conversation. And
talking about it is a form of therapy, because you're getting it out. It's not just keeping it in.
Yeah.
You feel much better already. Even I feel good right now, bro. After this no, for real, bro. For real.
I'm trying to create that space, man. I'm trying to create that environment where, regardless of who you are, what you do, who your mother, father, whoever, I don't care. I don't give a fuck about who they are, anyways. It's just, this is more of a energy vibe level, man. Like it's just, if I vibe with you, I vibe. You can't fake energy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, word.
You can't fake it. You can't fake that, man. And if you do, it's likely to come out. The bullshit is likely to come out soon. All things come to light.
But people will see the bullshit.
Yeah, they will see through it.
Immediately. Or they'll feel it. Energy, you feel it. Yeah.
But another thing I just want to talk about before we actually call it a night is your recent venture. It's called, what's it called again?
Ingenious Consulting Services.
Ingenious Consultant Services.
Yes.
Tell me more. Tell the people what it's all about, man.
So it's basically a company that does community development through capacity building training, through different events, through publications, and we're a group of young people. You know, the whole idea is we're speaking about the youth unemployment. Yeah. So I want to help other young people put food on the table by helping other young people put food on the table. So it's like this cycle, this multiplier effect that I want to create through this business that I have, this consulting service. So we operate,
the challenge I see for you is the fact that social media is a trip on its own. And like I said, there are positives, but it depends how you use social media at the end of the day, right? But the challenge for you, because you're dealing now with youth, is the fact that what they see on the Instagram is, it's the private jets, the vacations, the cars. And it's like, how do you tell a young person, like, look, just be grounded. Holy shit.
Always the lights.
You have an outage right now. Okay, but we're still recording, actually. It's just, holy shit.
Oh.
No, we're still recording. No, everything is on. That's weird. No, that's like the challenge you're going to face, where, like, how do you tell a kid that, that sees all these things, like hey, man, just be grounded. Things are going to come. Don't worry. Just relax. Just focus. Like, how do you... Because for me, I know how I was when I was fucking 18, 17. I was like, I want some money. Especially when I look at my favorite artists or my favorite influencers. It's like, man, how I'm going to get this? So I think that's going to be one of the main challenges for you, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. And at the end of the day, that's where faith. That's the reward. That's where faith comes in. Is believing in what you can't see, right?
Yeah.
And the reward that you get for faith is everything that is at the other side of it. The nice houses, the nice cars.
You just have to
You
believe,
know,
man.
trust in the process.
Damn.
And that's the thing. You will believe
True.
it. You know, we were saying earlier, like, a lot of people are like, I'll believe it when I see it. But I guarantee
Believe it first, man.
you will see it when you believe it.
That's true, eh?
Take a chance with faith.
Yeah.
So, and I'm a living testimony.
Yeah,
I came from nothing, and now I'm something.
and that's
And
beauty
these
of
are
it,
the
man.
steps that I took. This is the experience that I went through. And yeah, so based on that,
That's why people. I think that's why people will be able to relate to you,
yeah,
because they're like, yeah,
I experienced it.
he's done some shit. I've done some similar shit, so he knows exactly what I'm going through or what. Yeah, they will know.
Absolutely.
They will know. So,
Hey,
Amen.
but during the process, though, there were times I thought, maybe it's not going
Yeah,
to
it's
come.
not- you
This
don't see
faith
the
thing,
light.
it's not easy because it really takes time.
Oh, man, I
But
can
the
imagine.
quicker we learn the lessons, the faster it comes.
That's what I'm saying.
It's up
a
to us
process,
at the end
yeah.
of the day. But it's a process. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
process. It's a process.
I just hope. I'm really optimistic, man. That's the thing. I'm optimistic about everything as far as people who have recognized as game changers. Like, I feel for that. I'm like, okay. And these are the people who I bring on here, whether regardless of it's my friend or someone I don't know. Like, the people I've had here, I could say like a good 40% of them I don't fucking know them. Like, that was my first time meeting them, but just like I said, you can't fake necessarily. You can't fake an energy, man. You can't fake a vibe. Like I said, if you do, it's gonna come out. So.
Word.
But I'm optimistic. I really want the best for everybody that sees a future, man. Because a lot of us are just we don't see it, and it's understandable based off the bullshit that we're dealing with. But for those that look past that, I appreciate you. Even you yourself, bro. I appreciate you for even
Thank you,
taking
brother.
the time to come here and
Thank
talk
you,
about.
brother.
I'm not sure if we really highlighted on everything, but the fact is, I do believe people can actually sit and listen to you and be like, yeah, I've been through worse or similar to that guy. And if he can change, or if he can make some good changes in his life, then I can probably do the same. And that's the plan, bro.
Thanks, brother. And I really appreciate you having me here. And just as I close off, I'd like to say, I think
man, give last words for these people.
What has been really key for me is that I focus every day on self-development. Try to get better. Somehow, just improve something. Do you know, everything is connected. You improve a small part of your personality, something else in your life changes as well. But everything is connected. So I work on trying to become better every single day. And from that, everything I want just comes much easier. It's attracted to me. I don't have to chase it. You know,
you just manifest it.
So it's
right?
it's just you know the
manifestation.
So trying to be a better man, trying to make a difference, give back. I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. But like I said,
and you become what you believe. Your belief is what shapes your world.
Damn, man.
What do you believe?
That again.
Yep. What do you believe at the end of the day? What do you believe?
Hey, Pandu.
It is done unto you as you believe. It is done unto you as you believe. My brother, thank you for having me, man. And keep up the great work. I'm looking forward to coming back again.
Dude, we're definitely doing this again. We have to.
Definitely.
Like I said, this like every person that has pretty much visited for the first time, whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, understand this. This is just like a glimpse into who these people are. I feel like when they do come back, you're gonna see or you're gonna hear a different side again. So, and the thing is, it's always gonna be interesting. The way I see it, at least, the way I predict it, it's always gonna be interesting. It's always gonna be insightful. It's always gonna be knowledgeable. So, hey man, I can't wait to have you back again. I can't wait to see where where your business even goes in the next 2 or 3, 6 months. I don't care, bro. But the fact is, when you can come back here, you're gonna have something to tell us, and hopefully someone will get something out of this.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, man.
It's truly much appreciated.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. I'm sorry. I don't normally talk like this.
Nah, take care. Take care. It's been a good conversation. To everyone out there, peace.
Yeah, man.
Ciao bless. Ciao bless.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Hey, type of lifestyle that we living over here is not the same. People say they never gon' change, but they change. Times are moving faster, ain't no time to switch a lane. Keep me out of rain.